everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be doing kind of a Q&A type video, and then I'm also going to be eating Stan's donuts and coffee. Donuts, just trying different kinds. So my mom actually sent me these donuts, so shout out to my mom. They're all gluten-free. So I'm just going to be answering some questions and then like trying a few different kinds just to see like kind of what I like. So I'll start with the first question before we get started with the food. So the first question is, have you moved from home? Where to, and how was the experience? So I'm from Ohio, and in 2018, summer of 2018, I moved to Missouri, where my husband was, but he was then my boyfriend. So I moved for college. The experience was good. I drove here with my parents, but at the time we weren't really on the same page, so that just made things kind of difficult because I obviously wasn't telling them stuff. I'm not sure if they even knew that my husband moved here. I think they knew that he moved here and that he had his own place, but they didn't know that I was going to move in with him. So that kind of created some tension just because they didn't really know everything and I didn't really feel comfortable telling them everything. So the experience was good, like getting to start like my own life, I felt like, but it was also kind of hard just because I felt like I couldn't be like 100% honest and I had to hide things from them, so that also sucked. So back to the donuts. So I read the box and it said this place is from LA, but now they're in Chicago, so that's where my mom shipped them from. I know she said she got chocolate, blueberry, and then I think she said pistachio. They each come individually packaged, which I think is really nice, just because if you want to take a donut like for breakfast, but you have to go on the go or something like that, it's really nice to just kind of throw it in your bag or whatever. This one is chocolate with sprinkles, and there's my dog, sorry. She's like, you got food, give me some. So I'm just gonna kind of cut it because I don't want the whole thing. I've been trying to eat healthier. So this one has chocolate, sprinkles, and then it has like a icing drizzle on it. You cannot have the chocolate, but I'll give you a different one for cheap. Okay, I'm just gonna try to bite. And they have like chocolate frosting, they're not like chocolate donuts. They are pretty good though. I could not tell if they were gluten-free. And this piece doesn't have any chocolate, so I'm just gonna give it to her. The chocolate I'm really a fan of. But I love chocolate everything, so I'm kind of biased. Okay. I have some orange water. Okay, so the second question is, are you in/have you gone to college? So I'm not currently in college, but yes, I did go to college. So, like, this kind of relates to the first question, I guess. So, I moved to Missouri to go to college. I originally was going to go for elementary education. So, I went for a semester at a big university. And then the next semester, I went to a small community college. And I think I either changed my major to undecided, or I think I just left it as undecided because I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So then I went to a small community college for a semester, and then I dropped out. I don't really like that term because I feel like it has a negative connotation, but I mean, it just really wasn't for me. So I stopped doing that, and then shortly after, I started doing a dental assisting program, which was a 10-week program that a local dental office has around here. So I did that program, and that's the most recent schooling that I've had, is the dental assisting program. So it didn't technically count as college, but it was like a form of schooling that I was in. So I went to college for 2 semesters, and then I did like a dental program. Okay, the next question is, what is your favorite drink? So daily, all I drink pretty much is water, unless it's like a special occasion or we just decide to like grab some orange juice or something at the store. But typically all I drink all day is water. If we are like going out to eat or something, then I'll usually get sweet tea. But if I'm at home, then I usually just get water, which is 90% of the time. Okay, I'm gonna jump into a different donut. These look like the pistachio ones. Yes, they're green. I wish I could show them to you guys, but you can't really see them because they're in this bag and the icing kind of sticks to them a little bit. So that's the only negative of these donuts. But these ones, I can tell they have like some type of little chips on them or something. And Frenchie is drooling on me. So sorry about that. She loves food. She begs all the time, but it's because we give her food, so can't really be mad at her, huh, Chi-Chi? These ones are really good too. They have like a nice crunchy, I don't know if it's actual pistachios, but they have a nice crunch on top. I'm literally just giving her the actual donut, not any of the icing. That one's really good. I still prefer the chocolate, but my go-to is always chocolate, so it's kind of unfair. Okay. So I'm just going to do like a few questions now. The next one is, what are your life goals? So my main life goal is to be, trying to see how to word it, to be stable enough to be able to like comfortably be able to raise our kids. So what I mean by that is like, the whole reason one of the big reasons I started YouTube was because once me and my husband eventually want to have kids, then I don't want to be working like 40 hours a week, having to have a babysitter or anything like that. So I feel like YouTube just gives you more freedom, so that if you want to stay home with your kids, then you can. If you decide that you want to send them to daycare, then you can do that. It just gives you more freedom and flexibility. So I really like that. And it also just kind of made me think about like emergency situations. If your kid is sick, like you don't have to call off work. You could still film, like if you absolutely have to. You could just do like a vlog style video or something like that. So that's really my main goal, is to just be able to have the necessary tools that I need to be able to be a great mom, and just to be able to like provide our kids with whatever they need, lots of wants, stuff like that. Not to spoil them too much, hopefully, but just to be like super stable in life is what I want. I do like sometimes have like wants for like, ooh, I want to start my own makeup line or clothing line or something like that. I'm still not really sure where I'm gonna go with that, but I definitely am like picking my own brain about it to see what I want to do. Frenchie girl, you are so in the camera. Okay. Next one is, how many countries have you traveled to? So I've obviously traveled in the US, and then I've traveled to Europe for a few weeks, I think. and then I've traveled to Peru. So I did Europe, excuse me, I traveled to Europe back when I was in middle school. It was kind of just like this organization that just reached out to kids like around the surrounding area and had like teachers from the surrounding areas go to whatever place you were going to with the kids. So it was kind of like going with strangers, but we had like months leading up to it, we had like classes and stuff we had to go to get to know each other. So by the time we went, they weren't complete strangers, but it was still kind of uncomfortable just because you didn't really know the people. But it was very fun. It was a great experience. And then when I went to Peru, it was with my Spanish class. And I believe it was a summer trip that we went on. Well, both of them were summer trips, I think, yeah. But the one in Peru was in high school, and I went with my Spanish class. And that one was a little bit longer. But that one I felt a little more comfortable just because I actually knew the people since we went my senior year, I think, either junior or senior year. I just felt like I knew the people more because I've been around them for a few years. So that one I was a little more comfortable with that aspect, but then all the people there were Spanish speaking, so that made it a little bit more uncomfortable on the other side, as to where in Europe everyone still speaks English, they just have an accent. So both of them were great trips. They were just both getting you out of your comfort zone in the best ways. Okay, let's see. What are your pet peeves? So one of my biggest pet peeves is like having a dirty house, because being like surrounded in a dirty space really affects my mood, and it really just makes me like in a horrible mood. So always having a clean house is something that I have to have. I hate having a dirty space. And then I would say another big one is just like negative, toxic people. But that's kind of like self-explanatory. I feel like a lot of people are like that. They just don't like negative people just because it doesn't help the world, you know. So those are my two biggest ones, I would say. What are you happiest with in your life is the next question. I would say what I'm happiest with in my life is how independent I am, even though I'm so young. I'm literally only 20, but like we have our own apartment, we have our car that's paid off, we don't have any student loans, anything like that. So I just like being really independent and kind of like seeing how far I can come and how much I can grow with like doing everything myself, obviously with my husband, but like just us two doing everything ourselves. I love like seeing the growth. Okay. Next question is, how many children do you want to have? I would say I want to have I don't know. I always change my mind about it. I know I want to have kids, but I feel like it's anywhere from like 2 to 4 maybe. Yeah, I'd probably say 2 to 4. But if we can afford to, like obviously I want to have more, but we've always talked about like doing adoption too. But I feel like I would want to have like 2 to 4 like biological kids maybe. And then either like adopting, yeah, probably adopting after that or somewhere in between. I don't know. So at least 2 to 4. Okay. Let's answer one more before we get another donut. What is one thing... No, where did it go? Okay. What is one thing that makes you lose interest in people immediately? So I would say one thing is... This kind of goes back to like pet peeves. One thing would be just like if I can see that there's someone who's toxic or always like pointing out the negatives in a situation, anything like that. It's based mostly off of just personality. Alright, the next question is, how did you survive your first heartbreak? So I kind of feel like I just survived my first heartbreak like anyone else would. You basically just, if you have to cry, you have to cry. If you have to let it out, that's just what you have to do. And you kind of just have to give yourself time to heal over it and just remind yourself, like, there will be someone else. Like, this isn't the end of me or the end of the world or anything crazy like that. You just kind of have to try to not blow it out of proportion, even though in the moment it seems like the worst thing ever. Because you definitely do, like, get through it and get over it, and everything ends up being perfectly fine, if not even better. So you just kind of have to, like, not be in your own head and make it worse for yourself. You kind of just have to, like, talk yourself down, I guess. Okay, now we're gonna try the last kind of donut, which is blueberry. Oh, this one's so cute. It has like a purple icing on top, and then it has little chunks of blueberry too. I really do like these donuts. I really can't tell that they're even gluten-free. Now my dog's coming back for some more. This one has like a very strong and like fresh blueberry taste, which is yummy. Sorry, I have to get some more. This one's so good. I've been trying to eat healthier, so like the taste of like blueberries is just like amazing to me right now. Even though it's on a donut. But yeah, that one's super good too. Okay, so the next question is, what is one thing you always carry while traveling? So I would say one thing I always carry, especially when traveling international, is like in your carry-on bag that you keep with you, always have like change of clothes and like regular toiletry stuff. And then I would also say always carry your passport, just because you never know what will happen. So that's one good thing that that program taught us, was to always have your passport and stuff just in case. The next one is, do you prefer swimming in pools or in an ocean? Definitely in pools. I'm actually scared of deep water, or have like a fear of it. So I definitely would either swim in pools or don't swim at all. Okay, 2 more questions. So are you named after anyone? So my middle name is Rose, so that's after my great-grandma or great-great-grandma on my mom's side. And then my first name, Harmony, is just a name that my parents picked out because I'm biracial, obviously, and they just thought that that was a good name to represent that. And then the last question is kind of crazy. It says, if you were attacked by a serial killer and you have to convince the killer not to kill you, who do you want to have a talk with the person? So I would definitely say my husband, because he's very, what's it called? He's very persuasive. He's always said if he goes back to school for anything, he would go back for law. So yeah, I would definitely pick him just because he's super persuasive, and I feel like if anyone could get us out of the situation, it would be him. But that's all for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. I definitely do recommend Stan's Donuts. I'm not sponsored or anything, but they are super good, especially if you have like a gluten allergy or celiac disease. I would say they are super yummy. So yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and everyone have a great day.